Hi my dear students, this is Hazarath Kshatriya from IIT Kanpur. Welcome to interview guidance session. Let us discuss a very interesting question which is asked in bark, bench and ISRO. That is, what is the coefficient of friction between pen and paper while writing the spelling of coefficient of friction on the paper? Feel that you are sitting in front of the interviewer, pen and paper present on the table. Now, interviewer will ask you to write the spelling of coefficient of friction on the paper. Now question will come. What is the coefficient of friction between pen and paper while writing the spelling of coefficient of friction on the paper? You can make this question little complicated. See here, you are writing spelling of coefficient of friction on the paper. Here, pen is a moving machine element. Paper is a stationary motion element. We know that when you see a relative motion between two motion elements, in that one is moving, another one is stationary. In that case, stationary motion element called as bearing. Now the question here is, what is the coefficient of friction between moving motion element and bearing while writing the spelling of coefficient of friction? Okay. See here, after listening this question, most of the students will give answer like this. Sir, 0.3 sir, 0.6 sir, 0.7 sir, it's around 0.5 to 0.8 sir. People will act smart in front of the interviewer. Don't act smart in front of the interviewer. They have seen so many people. They conducted interview for many students. They will definitely catch you. Right? What is the exact way to answer this question in the interview? We need to discuss in detail in this session. See here, we need to start like this. Sir, I don't know exact value of coefficient of friction. Why? Because I have not done any experiment before. But it will definitely depend on some parameters, that is roughness of the paper, viscosity of ink present in the pen, pressure applied by the pen on the paper, and how fast you are writing. Whether you are writing very slowly or very fastly, it will definitely vary the coefficient of friction value. Here we don't know roughness details of the paper, viscosity of ink present in the pen, pressure applied on the paper and fastness of writing. That is why I am not able to calculate the magnitude of coefficient of friction between pen and paper while writing the spelling of coefficient of friction on the paper. Here it is moving machine element and the paper is a bearing. You asked me to determine coefficient of friction between moving machine element and bearing. The coefficient of friction value will definitely depend on characteristic number, that is Zn by P. Here Z is dynamic viscosity, M speed, P is pressure applied. Okay, you can call it as a characteristic number. Okay, coefficient of friction will definitely depend on these parameters, but I don't know those values. That is why I am not in position to calculate the magnitude of coefficient of friction in this particular case. Okay, we can say that no one can give exact value of coefficient of friction between pen and paper while writing the spelling of coefficient of friction on the paper. Why? Because coefficient of friction value is varying with respect to these four parameters. That is why we are not able to do exact value. Okay, here interviewer checking your knowledge in friction and whether you are able to define bearing or not, whether you know the characteristic number or not. Okay, now so he is checking these parameters by asking this question. Okay, so you should be strong enough in friction, definition of the bearing, and finally characteristic number. This is all about one of the question asked in the back bench and ISRO. Thank you.